Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line. We are live with episode 30. I am AJ, and that is my guy, Mike Finch. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys? Dude, busy week. I'm trying to get a hold of Mike Tyson. Whoever's got Mike Tyson's number, send it to me. We're trying to get him over to the gym for our 5-year anniversary. So I've contacted everybody Mike Tyson's ever talked to this week, and we're trying to get it going. So hopefully we'll get Iron Mike in the gym, and wouldn't that be a cool interview?
It would be pretty fucking sick if you got him in. So I'm hoping you pull it off.
Apparently, he doesn't work with his old assistant anymore. So maybe there's a job opening for me, AJ. I don't know. Should I manage Mike Tyson? Does this sound good?
Listen, man. Good luck. Good luck. I'd say good luck, bro. I think that'd be a lot of work, man. I don't know. Managing Tyson, no. I feel like how many phone calls, how many shoots. What if he's not in the mood that day?
I broke my back. What? A vertebrae? Spinal. Like, oh no, Mike, I gotta help him out. Hey, I'm ready.
You could get in deep shit with that, Mike. I don't know. I think it could get you into a bit of trouble. I personally would say, Mike, I think stick with the MMA thing instead of the Mike Tyson assistant. But have him on the show. Have him on the show.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was warned. I was talking to somebody close to him, and they were like,
"Yeah,
man, he'll call you at 4 a.m. to come pick him up or whatever." I'm like, "Good. He's a few blocks away, bro. Call me at 4 a.m. If Mike Tyson calls me, Mike, I need you for this. You know, I'm fucking going, bro. I got him."
That's funny, man. All right, Mike, listen, if you get that line, you know what? I'd say the first probably 15, first 5-6 times, you're like, yo, this is Mike Tyson. I'm picking up at 4 a.m. This is sweet.
Yes.
And then you're like, holy shit, Mike, you're stressing me out. So, I mean, hey, it would be great if you could, use the Tyson on the show, bring him on. We bring Tyson's picks or something like that. If you have to go through that hell to get Mike Tyson as a consistent fighter on the show, let's get it, man. Let's go.
I love it, bro. Yeah, Tyson's predictions would be dope. I don't know how many fights he watches, but I know he's like a casual MMA fan. Definitely likes to go watch fights live. I see him at a lot of events, boxing, MMA. He was at Hasim Rahman Jr.'s last fight. And obviously, you guys know now Hasim Rahman Jr. got the fight with Jake Paul since Tommy Fury is stuck in the UK. Jake Paul says he's scared and he's not trying to get out of the UK, whatever the story is. Oh, my God, there's the graphic.
We'll bring the graphic up. Listen, if we're going to talk about it, I'll put it on the screen.
Let's go.
I mean, I think it's a real fight for Jake Paul. Got to say, he's got balls for doing it. The reason he's taking it, though, is definitely because he sees Rahman as a guy that probably has a little bit of quit in him. He's breakable, coming off a loss. Even Rahman's dad, the former world champion, Hasim Rahman Sr., he said, my son has underperformed in each of his fights. He underprepares, and obviously he don't look that good when he throws down. When he fights against Jake Paul, what's going to happen? Jake Paul is putting the 100%. Like, one thing about Jake, I think that no one can ever say nay on is the hard work. He puts it in. He gives his all to the fucking game. Rahman, I believe for this fight, he's training as hard as he's ever trained. You think he wants to lose to Jake Paul? So that's concerning. When you got Rahman, who's got a lot of amateur experience versus Jake, I don't know. Unless Jake Paul really has got that special something, Rahman should win. On paper, right? Rahman's bigger. He's got more experience. He should be the way better boxer. But Jake Paul has surprised us. He's got power in his hands, too. He's got a big overhand. And he's a really good athlete.
Specifically how they match up, AJ, you can tell that this is a hand-picked opponent because when you watch what Hasim Rahman Jr. has trouble with, it's consistently the overhand right. And who's got a good overhand right? Some blonde YouTuber that I know, right? So I think that Jake Paul sees the big right hand landing and is going to try to walk him into it. Look, Hasim Rahman Jr.'s got the best jab that Jake Paul's ever fought by far, right? And he could use his rear hand. He's got a nice uppercut. He's got some good shots. One thing about Hasim Rahman Jr. is he's a big dude. Jake Paul's trying to make him cut down to 210, 200. I think he can't be 210.
200, but yeah, he can't rehydrate past 210.
That's come on, Jake. If you want to tell us you're really fighting a heavyweight, fight a fucking heavyweight. Stop playing these games, dude. This dude's 230 and you're going to make him cut down to 200 pounds. What are you doing, man? Of course he's going to cut his legs off to fight you. You're famous. He's not. There's a lot of money on the line. If he beats you, the rematch, you know, he could ask for big dollars like Nate Diaz did with Conor, right? You know, fought Conor for the first fight with some big money, way bigger money on the rematch. That's what you try to do, right? So he's going to jump at the opportunity. Don't fuck him over. Let's get a good fight. You know, if he's going to make this guy cut a ton of weight, this dude already gassed hard in his last fight, shortened camp on this one, right? What do we got? August 6th? I don't know, 3 weeks?
3 weeks out.
No, you start seeing how the deck is a little stacked in the favor of the content creator.
It has to be though, right? He's the A side. So he doesn't want to give Rahman all the chances. We're looking for a Jake Paul win. We got to continue the Cinderella story, man. He's gonna stack it in his favor. He's throwing the finances down. Something we got here is, do either of yous have a Bet MMA tips account? Mike, do you have one?
I don't even know what Bet MMA Tips is, but I do have a MyBookie account. Use promo code Moneyline, and you guys will get a 50% bonus when you sign up. Help me help you.
That's it. Much love, Mike. That was good. That was a good tie-in right there. To our guy, we don't at this moment, but I mean, not opposed to it. I just have to look into the service. I've heard about it, but I honestly have not looked into it. But much love to QA for the donation, baby. Much love, my guy. Thank you so much, man. Good shit. Good shit. And also, this comment stood out to me, bro. Mike Finch's Tyson impression is as good as AJ's Hamzat. That's great. That's great.
AJ's got a good Hamzat. I don't usually hear your Hamzat, bro. I see your Hamzat, right? But I don't usually hear it.
I gotta smash everyone.
There it is.
That's it, bro.
There
That's
it is. I killed this guy.
I killed him, brother. I gotta kill him. Now, with Paul Rahman, we'll see what happens, man. Someone's asking what would we bet. I'll be honest. I'm leaning Jake Paul, but I don't want to bet on the fight. Come on.
When we get closer to the fight, guys, we'll do a full breakdown. I'll make sure I study more tape. Now, Hasim Rahman Jr., I have seen him fight before. Like I said, I watched his last fight all the way through until he got knocked out. And the dude's going to be the toughest test we've had so far. Maybe a tougher test than Tommy Fury, bro. So I like that he's 6'3". I like that he's going to present physical challenges for Paul, because Paul's always been such a bigger man, and being a power puncher, these dudes just, it's really tough the way he matches up with people. Finally, a matchup that's a little bit interesting. Again, I do think he's handpicked, but even a handpicked guy, when the guy has more than 100 fights, if you can combine the amateur and the pro fights, Jake Paul's got 5? I mean, that's real. Experience is real, man. So we'll give you guys a full pick when we get closer to it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give you the full breakdown as we come to it. I think we're gonna start it off with the fights. Actually, no, we're not, because our guest is already in the house. Look at that. Perfect timing. That was well timed right there. We're going to bring Danielle Kelly in just a moment. Shout out to her for joining the show. All eyes on me. Danielle, how are you?
Hi. How are you guys?
We're doing really well. Excited to talk to you about the fights this weekend and your upcoming MMA career that I think is going to be pretty exciting with the jiu-jitsu background and now jumping over to one championship too.
Yes.
Super excited about that, Miss Kelly. So tell me, now you've been a grappler your whole life. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
I've been doing jiu-jitsu. I think this November will be 17 years.
Jesus.
For a long time.
There it is. There it is. And you're a leg lock specialist. You've been able to leg lock some very tough competition. You compete as a professional in jiu-jitsu. There's finally money in jiu-jitsu, Danielle. Why are you going to put on MMA gloves and start throwing punches and elbows? What's going on?
I don't know where that was heard from, but I've been thinking about it, but I will step in the cage with gloves on when I feel ready. But for now, I'm just going to grapple everyone and try to submit them.
That makes sense. AJ, you've seen she's had tough competition. She's fought UFC fighters. I want to say Carla Esparza. I saw a couple good names on this list. You've Roxanne Modafari, Cynthia Cavallo. So you've grappled UFC fighters. What do you think about their level of skill on the ground? When you watch fighters in ONE FC, when you watch fighters in the UFC, how does your level of jiu-jitsu compare to theirs?
So I guess with the UFC fighters, I feel like they're both the same, the same aggression. And actually, all the UFC girls that I've fought or grappled against, they were all bigger than me. So, because I only walk around like 110, 115. But no one really like talks about that because they're very hype about UFC fighters. Because of my last match, Carla, like she was cutting to 132, I think, because it was kind of like a last minute because Rose had COVID or something. So, I'm just a 113 pounder going against a 135 girl. Not sure what she really walks at. So I think like for one, I think the girls are a little more technical because they're kind of smaller and they walk around that weight. But or not, I just feel like the UFC girls, the ones I went against, are just bigger and they were just stronger.
AJ, the women's MMA skill level is just going up and up and up, man. And she's been on the mat and in the cage, actually, because I've seen you do the cage grappling in ONE FC. She's been on the mat with some of the best of them, AJ.
That's a nice resume right there. And I mean, if like you said, taking in small steps is no pressure to rush into the cage or anything like that. It's good to have that experience now already, touching bodies with some of these elite talents. It at least humanizes them and their weight classes up. I guess if you did jump to MMA, though, I will say, I mean, atom weight division, I guess, seems like the weight class. And I feel like it's a little bit underappreciated, but there's been like really good fighters there. Karate Hottie, I remember, was running it back, several years before UFC run. So I feel like that class in one championship, who knows, might be wide open and might get yourself the world title strap. I mean, the ground game's a crucial part, especially in women's MMA, where I feel like certain girls do have, little bit of lacking skill set in one specific area at the lower level. I feel like you could capitalize well on a lot of them. And then you develop the striking with it. It's going to be danger zone right here with 17 years of jiu-jitsu. I mean, some of these girls in the UFC are blue belts and they've been training 4 years. So that's like a serious advantage.
I agree. Because if you look at Mackenzie Dern, she's been doing jiu-jitsu for all of her life. I've been following her since I started jiu-jitsu. Like she was already, I believe, probably a blue belt not blue belt, but like kids blue belt or something when I started. So, seeing someone like that who's like in the top 5 ranking for just being a jiu-jitsu person background gives like a lot of confidence. And, I hope to kind of be like her, like whenever I start being in the cage. But, again, I've been kind of focusing on my striking as well for the past 2 years. But this year I just been doing like a lot more grappling. So I don't know what the future will hold. But like I said, like whenever I'm ready, it's potentially that.
It's important to keep that grappling sharp when you fight. If you've heard Brian Ortega at the press conference just now, Brian Ortega was saying that when he fought Volkanovski for the title, and Volkanovski got out of his guillotine and even easier got out of his triangle. His name's T-City, Triangle City, and he was not able to lock up that triangle on him. What he said was, I wish I would have focused on my jiu-jitsu technique more in camp. Like he was so focused on striking and wrestling because he's done jiu-jitsu his whole life. He kind of got rusty there, So it seems to me that just doubling down on your skill as a grappler is going to be excellent. Danielle, I've seen you have pretty good takedowns too. Do you wrestle?
I still wrestle, but I guess I focus like more like jiu-jitsu, like guard and passing guard. But I used to wrestle, and I wrestled since like 6th grade throughout college. So I did like folk style and freestyle when women's wrestling wasn't like as popular, which now it is. But when I was in school, it wasn't as popular.
Yeah, I interviewed Forrest Molinari. You got to check her out. She's a damn beast of a wrestler. Shout out to my little sister, Melanie Finch, who's a wrestler as well. Yes, there's more and more of an opportunity to wrestle. I think even more on a trajectory is jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, you're getting paid as a professional grappler now. How long do you want to stick with professional grappling? Could you see yourself just sticking with it?
Yes, because I'm not getting punched or kicked or kneed, elbowed in the face. I want to keep this okay. It's already okay, but just keep it still okay. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, like I want to still grapple, do as many matches, especially under one championship. That's what I do. I've been doing it since I was a kid. It's like part of my life, so I can never leave it. But I want to try new things eventually. So I'm still, even if I was doing that, I still want to grapple.
There it is. AJ, there's a couple good comments in here asking her questions for
Let's
real.
go. Let's bring up the people's questions here. This is a good one right here.
There you go.
Are there talks of having you grapple with Rose Namajunas or rematch Carla Esparza?
I would love to go against both, especially Rose, but it wasn't her fault for getting sick. But with Carla, I would 100% go against her if she cuts down to my weight class. Because I didn't have, she had more of the upper hand for herself. She was super strong, but if she wants to go again, if that happens in the far future, I'm down for it. But she'll have to cut to my weight.
Fair weight class, fair fight. Let's do it. Now, next one is this any I guess dream grappling match that you'd want with anybody, UFC, or I'll even include Bellator 1, any name that's I want to take them on in grappling.
Yeah, for a person that comes to mind first, Angelique, she said she was confident submitting me, so I'd love to put that to the test.
That's a call out.
Yeah. UFC fighter, Mackenzie Dern. She's a legit grappler. I don't know if she would cut weight to a grappling match, but yeah, I don't want to go against bigger girls now. So that would be cool if she did like a 115 match. Bellator, I don't know any jiu-jitsu girls in Bellator. I actually don't pay attention to Bellator.
Come on, I work for Bellator. You can't tell me that.
Oh, sorry. Honestly, I only know like Alima, that girl Valerie.
Alimale, yeah.
Yeah, Valerie and Liz Carmouche. I know Liz used to be a UFC fighter. She's really strong. Really strong. So yeah, I don't know anyone else.
Yeah, she just won the title, actually. I was there in Hawaii watching her win that belt. Liz Carmouche is a freaking beast. Good wrestler, super physically strong, and just great shape, like just a little Terminator. Alima Lay McFarlane, you mentioned, she's got some nasty arm bars. That would be a super fun fight. She's 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and that would be a super fun fight, right? There's obviously...
I think they're teammates, her and Liz.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential matchups out there for you. So okay, but you already said the fight you want.
Yes.
Oh shit. All right, I want to see it. Okay, excellent. Okay, so you're on this trajectory now where you're training striking and grappling. When do you want to test your striking? I see great grapplers sometimes try like kickboxing first, or sometimes try like an amateur boxing match to sort of get their feet wet. Would you ever do something like that?
So the Muay Thai place that I train at right now, they do like their little circuits at the gym. Nothing like professional or like big events, but they will have like random girls like come in, and then we'll spar them or do like MMA rounds, and then sometimes we'll just do like grappling rounds. Right now I can't, but I just trade it like cookie. So, and I just still do jiu-jitsu.
Understood. Completely understood. AJ, she's got a nasty leg lock game, and she's dangerous with that. I'm actually, Danielle, somebody who loves leg locks for MMA, and we talk to many people, Mads Burnell, even my guy AJ here, who don't love the leg locks for MMA. You put yourself in bad spots to be punched in the face. What are your thoughts on leg locks in MMA? Would you change your game around so you're not diving into honey hole to 50-50 to Ashigaramis?
So I agree with you, actually. And there was a point where even for jiu-jitsu, like, for example, there was a time where I was just tunnel vision on trying to like finish or go for leg locks on a person. And if the guy or girl, whatever, if they're good at pressure passing or, defending, the leg lock or bottom person usually has trouble. Whereas in MMA, you're getting punched. So it's not really smart for you to keep having tunnel vision, trying to attack someone's legs. However, I would say like the leg lock thing, like if you're losing the fight, but you're kind of up in like third round, let's say, and the person that's beating you is on the bottom, and you want, if you're really good at like trying to finish leg locks, then go for it. But there was a fight in one championship. Don't want to talk about it too much because he's my favorite. But I think he was just so tunnel vision on trying to get a leg lock, and one punch and he was knocked out. So I think I'm more towards not going for them so much. But if you could set it up, like Gary Tonin, for example, he would go for a single leg and drop for a leg lock, and he finished the guy in like the first minute. That's it's luck, or that he works hard for it, so it's not really luck, but it's kind of just timing. But personally, if I'm stuck on the bottom, that's not my first thing to go to, because just to scramble.
Smart. AJ, I think I know. She's talking about Gary Tonin getting knocked out in ONE FC. That was fucking brutal to watch.
Yeah, I know. I assumed that it was him. I didn't want to say. I didn't want to throw him under the bus, but Finchman.
Even though I said his name, and then it's like, oh wow, there we go. Those are some good examples.
You could be respectful and talk about somebody's loss. Yeah. What did you learn from watching that? Like Gary Tonin, best leg locker in the world. I don't know, him and Eddie Cummings and the whole Danaher Death Squad. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, it's just easy for anyone to like sit behind a screen or phone and say, he just got knocked out, he sucks at leg locks. But it's like, he was going, like, he was trying to finish the fight, and he made a mistake. It cost him. That mistake cost him the whole fight. So, that stuff happens. But I think next time, well, the other guy's really good, so I don't know. No offense to Tonin, but they're both really good. So
he was fighting for the belt? I believe so,
fight.
Yeah, it was a big fight. Our guy Andy Gonzalez, a regular here, says position before submission. Is that sort of the mindset, right? Like in mixed martial arts, it is higher percentage, maybe safer, right? To not do a flying armbar, to not do a scissor sweep, to not do a leg lock where your head's on the mat. Is that your mindset should you step into the cage?
Yes, 100%.
I agree with that, though. I think that's going to be a great aspect if
most times
we get to that point,
get to a position, depending like how fast you can get a submission on the transition. That kind of rhymed, but when you try to fight for a position, the other person's trying to transition, or they give up their back, then the submission is opened up. So I agree with that. It's just a little example.
No, I agree. I think the position over submission is like, I don't know, in fighting especially, more important than anything. I guess in grappling, you can kind of shoot for things, and if then a scramble, whatnot, there's not shots coming at you. I do want to jump though to the UFC this weekend. We've heard that you're big into the UFC. You follow, you have some picks maybe that you're confident sharing this week. The first one I gotta ask, it's legendary Miesha Tate 2.0. I call her Tate 2.0 now, taking on Lauren Murphy to start the main card off. What do you like in the matchup? Well, you feel like you have a side that you're leaning here?
So, if I'm not mistaken, I think Lauren Murphy's a big underdog, right?
She is plus money right now. Yeah, she's sitting at plus 180, plus 180 actually.
Not huge.
Not huge, but good size though. Good size.
Okay, so I did say Tate, but part of me is like, when these fighters cut a lot of, this is Tate's first time at 125, I believe. Yeah. Not saying like because their body changes or super skinny, they're gonna be weak, but most cases, like, I feel like it's a lot of pressure, and she's not used to 125, and girls who are at 125 naturally, they've been cutting to that weight. So I feel like she'll, I'm sure the cutting weight just takes a toll on someone's body, especially females. So I feel like, I'm gonna probably say Lauren, even though I don't think she won a fight since I don't know, but I picked some crazy fights before in the past. People called me crazy, but then, I sometimes end up being right. So I have a feeling, I feel like Lauren might get this, unless it's like all 3 rounds, and then maybe they'll go Tate because she's a bigger name, draws attention. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why my gut's saying Lauren Murphy.
That's fair. No, that's a fair. It's underdog plus money, and it's like fair points too. Because at the end of the day, a 10-pound weight cut, 135 to 25. Not like she's super young, first time doing it. Big fight against. I mean, Lauren
For
Murphy's
sure.
actually just coming off the title fight that she lost to Shevchenko. So I mean, she's top 5, 100%. It's a
That's
real.
what I'm saying. Like, she's not. I don't think she's a horrible fighter. She's
No.
fought a lot of like, big, kind of big names or high level striker girls. You know what I mean? Like top talented girls in the UFC. So, and Miesha's been kind of out. So, and her last win was against someone that was retiring who's 41.
Yeah,
You know,
and
not
then
to be
she
mean,
went.
but
She fought Vieira then after that and lost the
Kevin?
decision. Yeah.
that was a good fight. But
Close.
she looked kind of small in that fight. So maybe 125 might be her weight class too.
Agreed. And also, I got to bring some up. Donation in the chat. Here's the 3 beautiful people on the screen. Thank you, Devin Davis.
Please.
for the
Danielle, we got to
love.
send Danielle the $10.
Yeah.
There's one beautiful person.
They're paying her.
That
Danielle,
could
we
be for
owe
my
you.
coffee.
That's great. Good
Thank you,
donation, man.
Devin.
Much
We
love to
appreciate
Devin.
it, Devin
Thank you, Devin.
Davis. Thank you. All right, so we got the pick with that one. I got to ask you about the main event. We got T-City's back at it, Mr. Brian Ortega, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt, phenomenal guillotines, was able to, lock the champ up in the number 1 pound for pound guy in the world now, Alexander Volkanovski, lock him up in a couple things that Alex found his way out of. Do you think he gets it done against Yair Rodriguez? And what's your pick between Ortega and Rodriguez?
This is a hard pick. Part of me wants to go with the jiu-jitsu guy, and then part of me wants to go with Rodriguez. If I look at their last fights, Ortega did really well against the champion, and Yair, his last fight was against Zombie, if I'm not mistaken. No, his last
Holloway.
fight was
Holloway?
Yeah, Holloway got him on.
It was
the
Holloway beat him up.
decision.
It was close, actually. I shouldn't say beat him
Yeah,
up.
no, he fought well against Holloway. I was impressed, actually.
We're pushing her.
Probably gonna go with Ortega, maybe.
Okay, stick with the jiu-jitsu line,
The
man.
jits
Yeah.
people. Hey,
Come on.
I got a little hint. AJ might be thinking, Ortega gets it done on the ground. I just heard it through the grapevine. Is that what you're thinking?
Possible, but I think Rodriguez also grapples as well. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a really good fight for the fans. So the fans win.
I agree. That's
Safe
good. That's
answer.
good. Yeah, that is a safe hit. I like that. Though. But you know what? I have to ask. We went to the main, but I want to jump because this is a huge women's fight in the co-main. It's Amanda Lemos and the karate hottie Michelle Waterson. I want your take on that one right there because Lemos looked really good against Andrade. Gets caught in a standing arm triangle. Opposite side, karate hottie has had some stumbles as of recent, but still is competitive in all their fights. It's not like you're seeing her getting beat up out there.
I'm gonna have to go with Lemos. She's no slouch. She's got some power. I like her fight against Angela.
Overkill Hill.
Yes, Angela. Yeah, I mean she's not a slouch, so I think she'll overpower Michelle.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Just to give a spoiler to the people, most of them probably already know my pick from earlier on in the week, but no, I agree with that.
I'm gonna keep
Keep it
trap
shut,
tips.
Mike. Keep it shut. Save some
His
suspense,
trust.
bro.
Perfect. Hey, those were some good picks. We appreciate that. Did we miss anything? Is there a fight on the card where you're like, guys, I know who's gonna win this shit?
No, I haven't really been paying attention to the undercard.
Fair.
All good.
Fair.
That's our job.
That's ours. Yeah, that's our thing. We're doing the full card.
Absolutely. AJ, anything else for the star
Well,
grappler?
I
She's
gotta
Insta famous, bro. This girl is killing it out
Let's
there.
go. I'm
How
excited
the hell
for
did
it.
we get 100K Instagram? Can you give us some advice?
Yeah. Help us with 100K.
Instagram, just compete a lot and be cute. Just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Shit.
I try to respond to everybody, so I think that's one of the key things. I try to interact with everyone. I don't think I'm better than anyone, so I try to talk to everyone who follows me.
Aw.
So I think that's kind of a key thing. So be more interactive.
Let's go. And I got somebody begging for this one in the chat, so I got to give it to my guy. Do you have a pick between Penne and Ducote? First fight of the night, Jessica Penne and Emily Ducote.
That's a prelim. We're pushing
prelim.
her.
I know we're pushing. You don't have to.
Jessica Penne. Oh, Ducote is from Invicta. I believe she's the champion.
Yes, yes.
Penne's jiu-jitsu impressed me last fight she won. I don't know. There's something about her, so I'm gonna have to go with the other girl because the other girl is more hungry. I'm gonna go with the Invicta girl.
I like it. Ducote for the win.
It's a good fight.
From the man himself, Billy Barnes. So any fights on the horizon, like right now, you're looking at a timeline for a return to grappling?
Hopefully soon, someone's confident submitting me, so I'll just kind of waiting to see if I get offered or not.
Let's go. It's a great answer right there.
Yeah,
That's it.
Just staying ready.
Yeah, stay ready. No, stay ready. Let's go. That's good. I'm excited for you. I'm glad that you got to come on and share your takes with us, and it's going to be a fun ride. I do have a personal bias towards wanting to see you jump in the cage, just because it's nice to see elite level grappling transition, but no pressure on it. Do what feels right. Thank you for coming in. You want anything? You want to shout yourself out? Anything? I know you got the 100K, so really, she don't even need it. But if you want to use the floor for the people.
Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on my Instagram at Danielle Kelly BJJ, or if you guys are into gaming, you guys can follow me, Danielle Kelly BJJ, on Twitch. So come hang out.
Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to you, Daniel. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much. One of ONE FC's best, Danielle Kelly, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
Give her a follow. She might even hit you back. All right. Thank you, Danielle.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
All eyes on me.
We're getting
this side, bro. I like this side, bro.
Listen, come on. I like this side, Mike. I like this
All
side.
right.
My
All
side.
right.
This is my side, Finch, man. I own
Fair
this
enough,
side,
bro.
brother.
Hey, you in the background, AJ bumped me up to admin status now, so I'm coming
Let's go.
up in the world. Okay.
He is. Finchman's coming up. Finchman's got admin status now, guys. Listen, he's the guy. He's my dude. Mike, that was a great time talking with Danielle, man. She's good. She's good shit.
That was very cool, guys. She's very young, obviously very popular. So you guys are just catching her at the beginning, follow her career now and we'll see what happens. Look, I think the door is open for great women. Like if you are a great man and you weigh 155 pounds, you got a fucking mountain to climb up. You got a lot of tough fights to be the 155 champion. If you're a great woman, I do think that less elite level athletes are competing in mixed martial arts right now than there are in the men's category. You would expect like maybe 200,000 people want to be the UFC 155 champion. If you look at the women's divisions, maybe 2,000 women are trying to be the champion. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you're the state champion of California, you just beat this shit out of so many people. If you're the state champion of Rhode Island, you're probably not as you see what I'm saying? Right. So the opportunity to make money, to be able to get that champ status, to be on top of the game. I think it's there in women's MMA. I think women's MMA needs Danielle Kelly more than Danielle Kelly needs women's MMA.
I like it. It was a great time chatting with her. Good to meet her. And I'm excited to get into the picks. For those watching, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Smash it, brother. Keep it locked in here at the Moneyline every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We bring you the picks and the interviews as well. We bring the hottest names in the game, man. We're on the way up. We're going to get a world champion in the UFC on here soon. We've had the Bellator champs. UFC champs are coming. Now, first one, it's Jessica Penne, Emily Ducote. Finch, man. Looking at this matchup, you have crossroads. Ducote, young prospect on the rise, jumping in, short notice bout against Jessica Penne. One concern for me is Ducote, I think, being challenged by Penne in the grappling department. That's going to be difficult. And you know what? Because Penne is primary base grappler, I do think she ages better in the fight game because she's not worried about timing shots as much. Like with her hands, isn't going to be going for big KO punches. It's honestly a little bit gun shy with the boxing. How do you feel she matches up with Ducote, who is a pretty good striker, competent game overall, but I still don't feel like she brings huge power in the hands, which I think could be a big advantage for Penne in this fight moving forward and looking to get the fight to the mat?
I think it's an awesome fight, man. You know, when I first wrote the pick down, this was one of 2 fights on the card where I wrote coin flip, you know, because I think this is a tough fight. Look, Emily Ducote looked really patient against Danielle Taylor in Invicta. She put her out with a straight right hand. I think she's risen to that Jessica Penne level at this point. You know, I do think it'll be a good fight. I think she's probably the better striker, as you said. Penne probably a little bit of an advantage on the ground. Penne seasoned at this point, you know, and Ducote finally at that level as well. So I don't think, like, for instance, Ducote was there when Emily fought Elimele McFarland, who we talked about earlier with Danielle Kelly. I don't think she was at that level yet. You know, she fought Elimele McFarland in Bellator and, got submitted. I think that she is at a new level now, especially looking at that Danielle Taylor performance and, just researching a little bit of what she's been doing recently. You know, we always say it, this fighter gets better every fight. Cote really has shown, Ducote really has shown that she is on a trajectory north. And so that makes it tough for me to bet against her, man. I will go with Penne decision. I like the UFC experience a little more. I do think Penne could probably get the fight where she wants it, but not one where I'm confident in that pick at all, man. I think Ducote's in this fight.
I like it, man. As far as the lines, -150, Ducote +120, Penne. I'm with you on Jessica Penne winning a decision. I do think the grappling difference is a factor. Youth is also a factor, though, so we're going to find out a lot. I expect this fight to go the full 3, -180 for over 2.5 rounds is something to note. I don't really like the prop of Penne decision. It is +260. I don't think worth playing. I think if you want to attack Penne dog line, you could. The over I like better. Not loving the betting side of this fight. I think there's, definitely better ones to jump on, but we're riding with it, man. Let's go.
We're riding with it, ladies and gentlemen. But let me reiterate, a no bet. We got some better juice coming.
Let's go. Let's keep jumping up. Next matchup on the card, Dwight Grant, Dustin Stoltzfus at 185 pounds. Grant is jumping up after last fight. He was stopped not long ago, a little bit over a month. Decides, I want to fight at 85. Probably better if he was fighting at 170 after, recently being dropped, hurt, whatever. I know people have complained about the stoppage, but I think here for his chin, this is better. Problem is he's outmatched in the size against Stoltzfus. As far as actual just body size, Grant is a thinner, lankier guy. He's about 6'1", but he's not a middleweight frame to me. Stoltzfus, I think, is going to have a big edge in the physical strength department. And I think he's also going to have the grappling advantage. We've seen the Stoltzfus striking game a lot, but I think he's going to end up shining more on the mat here. I think he wants to get this fight to the floor, and I think that's where he's going to secure a win. I'm going Stoltzfus for the win. I'm leaning at decision, though. Grinding out a win, maybe gets a sub. What do you think, Finchman?
I think it's critical that he grapples in this fight. Grant is extremely explosive. You might be beating him up, and then all of a sudden he comes across the cage with a big cross and puts you out. You have to be careful. That's what he did on Dana White's Contender Series. I do think he's a dangerous guy. It always is tough to bet against fast power punchers, right? Who have that quick twitch, explosive speed. With that being said, there should be a significant difference on the ground, right? Stoltzfus, despite being just submitted by Gerald Meerschaert in his last fight, big respect to the black belt Gerald Meerschaert. This is not that type of matchup. This is a matchup where Stoltzfus wrestles in this fight. He should be able to dominate. The dude's won by twisters and all types of crazy shit. You don't start winning by twisters because you're uncomfortable on the ground. That just shows you the level of comfort he has when he has one hook in. He's like, no, I'm not putting the other hook in and going for the rear naked. I'm going to the truck. We're going to get crazy. I think that's the type of advantage he'll have on the ground. And Grant, being an AKA guy, is the worst wrestler I've ever seen represent AKA. I'm going Stoltzfus here. I do think a submission is possible. I'm going to be conservative and say decision.
I like the line too. Dwight Grant is +105 as the dog. Dustin Stoltzfus +105 as the dog. Dwight Grant -135 is the favorite. We're jumping dog city. I think it's probably going over a round and a half, which is -200. I'm leaning Stoltzfus decision. That prop is +400. Just let's look at Stoltzfus sub +400 too. But I don't love the prop side. I prefer a money line play, and I think Stoltzfus is an intelligent underdog to bet here because he's naturally bigger. I think still improving. I like it, man.
I agree with you. He's just going to run a little bit of a gamble getting knocked out. You know, as long as he doesn't, we've seen him stuck on the feet too long. I want to see him wrestle. I would love to kind of be a bug in the camp and hear what their corner's coming up with. If they're trying to close the distance and wrestle, that's going to put him, you know, to be a 3-1 favorite or something in my reality. Yeah. If he's going to stand there and strike with Grant, that's where he rolls the dice.
Yes, I agree 100% because the boxing of Stoltzfus isn't great. Both guys have more looping punch styles. Stoltzfus sometimes, I think he throws hooks from out of range and he gets a little bit uncomfortable with the hands. So I could see Grant catching him. But we'll see. I think the grappling, man. I'm going to bank on the grappling. You are too. We're liking Dog City for the first 2 fights on the card. Let's go.
Well,
let's go, baby. Let's see if they bark. Let's jump to the next one. It is Dustin Jacoby taking on
Another good one.
Jung. Very good fight. Earlier on, Jacoby was actually the favorite. The line is now shifted the Jung way. How do you like this matchup, Mike? What do you think about these two when they face off? Good strikers.
Good strikers, a fun fight. I watched Jacoby and Cutelaba again, and man, so many missed opportunities by Jacoby. You know, Cutelaba kept missing with that big ass hook, and you just see that Jacoby's timing is not quite there with the cross. You know, he didn't feel comfortable enough to let his hands go. And, you know, when Cutelaba misses big, that's your opportunity in the boxing. So I think that, you know, Da'un Jung's straight left is much more impressive to me. You know, if Da'un Jung just stays light on his feet, sort of gets that nice little bounce going, bam, turns that quick twitch crossover. He's a southpaw, so it's a straight left hand. I like that punch in this fight. I do think it's competitive. I don't think you should bet your house. However, I'm liking Jung. I think he could smack, you know, Jacoby and put him out. Again, I'm going to lean decision on this one, but, you know, it's the way their boxing matches up. I haven't been blown away by Jacoby just yet. He does have a decent Muay Thai style, but that straight left hand just looks like it's going to find a home, dude.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it does, man. I like Jung for the win. I like Jung for the win by KO, actually. I'm leaning it, bro. I think he sleeps Jacoby. Jacoby's got good kicks from range, but he's fighting a guy that's eye level with him. There's not an advantage in the reach department. I don't see him doing well in boxing range with Jung. I think Jung has a big edge in the closer distance. So is Jacoby going to be able to move for 3 rounds and outpoint Jung? I have a hard time seeing it. I wouldn't be shocked if Jung mixes in a couple takedowns too. I like Da'un Jung. I'm going to say knockout, actually. Looking at the line, it shifted, though, as I've said. It's now -125 for Da'un Jung, -105 for Dustin Jacoby. Still a very value-style bet if you are playing Jung. KO for Jung is upwards of +275, but I don't love the KO line. I think Moneyline is better. I think it could go the full 3. I wouldn't be shocked. I just really do feel good about the Jung side, man. I like the ability. I like the 15-fight unbeaten streak. Jacoby, kickboxing guy, but doesn't necessarily have the boxing. I think we're going to see Jung for the win.
Ever so slightly underdog. Is that 3 dogs in a row? Are we opening a kennel here on Moneyline? Let's go.
We would have been, man, but the line's now technically Jung favorite.
Shit. Yeah, MMA or Tapology's lying to me then.
Yeah, they don't update it. They don't update it. That's the early odds, but they were. I know that would have been sick, bro.
Dog. All right, fair enough. Hey, even odds, you know.
Even odds. Let's go.
You guys could take a stab at it if you want.
Let's go. Let's jump to the next one. It is Bill Algeo and Herbert Burns. Burns coming off a layoff, bouncing back 2 years out of the game, about 34, taking on active Bill Algeo, who's hard to finish. Herbert Burns is a guy that gasses. He's got 1 good round in him. If he can get you in that round, he's going to do damage. He's going to choke you out. He's going to win by submission. He might knock you out too. He's a very fast starter. Algeo's not a chinny guy. He's durable. I think he can last. My concern is if Burns gets that back position very early, he could get the win. But Algeo's going to be there for the full 3. And if it gets into the second, gets into third, I actually think there's a chance Algeo stops Burns late. 3rd round TKO. I'm going to ride Bill Algeo here, Mike. What do you think?
I think Burns has the gas tank of a motor scooter, and he took this thing on short notice. If you put those 2 things together, these odds are too close, man. I do think Algeo should have a significant advantage here, especially since it was a last-minute replacement, right? It just kind of lines up for it. So I'm going to double up with you on the favorite on this one.
Let's go. Me and Finchman both on the Bill Algeo side. Looking at the line, he's a big favorite. Minus 210, Burns plus 170, and rightfully so. The hype of Burns has significantly dropped after he got smashed by Daniel Pineda. Algeo KO TKO plus 300. Let's see something. Burns to win in round one, I think would be, maybe a sprinkle play at plus 700 because I see him as round one or bust, and I'm going to ride Algeo third round TKO as the official play, man.
I like that. So maybe if you guys are thinking over 2.5 for Algeo, that's not crazy. I'm gonna, I picked some KOs later in the card, so don't think I'm going all decisions here. I just think the way they match up, Algeo is probably gonna play it a little safe and probably get to that final bell.
Could see it. Definitely could see it. I like Algeo. Mike likes Algeo. We're agreeing on pretty much everything to start it off. Let's see if that keeps up. We'll get there. Ricky Simón versus Jack Tank Shore. Finchman, give me the breakdown.
Hey, this might be the first one. I was actually watching your show, and somebody called me out and said Finch is definitely picking Jack Shore. Damn it! Now I got to pick Jack Shore and prove you right. That sucks, son of a. All right, look, I think it's a good fight, man. Ricky Simón, a dangerous customer, right? Let's not underestimate Ricky Simón. Am I supposed to be impressed with a knockout over a Sun Tzu when a Sun Tzu was on a 3-fight skid, right? Am I supposed to be impressed that he out-grappled Brian Kelleher to a decision, arguably the most average fighter I have ever seen? When you've got Greg Hardy as a wrestling coach, as Brian Kelleher does, a joke, obviously. I don't think that's the level he's going to get with Shore. He's going to show up with wrestling. And so it's a matter of, can Shore take him down? Can Shore keep him down? There is a strength, advantage that Ricky Simón generally has. I'll be interested to see, because if you look at them, you're like, oh, Ricky Simón is a freaking gorilla. He is built. He is stacked up. Jack Shore, athletic guy, doesn't even look like he lifts weights. I don't know. But when they fight, which is really what I care about, Jack Shore manhandles a lot of people, man. I don't know. The narrative is like Ricky Simón is way stronger. Maybe during like bench press at the gym, I don't know what it's going to look like in that cage. Based on what I've seen, Jack Shore is being brought up right. 5-0 in the UFC. He's on a nice roll. Now he's 16-0, and he's got a good test ahead of him with our man Ricky Simón. I'm gonna have to go Jack Shore. I'm gonna stick with, again, I'm saying these prelims are gonna go to decision here. Not that they're bad fights, but Ricky Simón, tough customer. It should be fun. I could see Ricky cracking him a little bit and making it a fight. I just think Jack Shore passes this test, man.
I'm going to go Ricky Simón on the other side, but it's not a supreme, you're absolutely wrong, Finch, man. If Jack Shore wins, you won't be seeing me too shocked. I think Simón's explosiveness and his base is going to be a factor in this one. Maybe moves forward, lands some decent hooks, presses against the cage. Him and Shore are competitive in the wrestling, and he steals a competitive decision. I'm liking Simón close on the cards, but close decisions are dangerous things to bank on. As far as the lines, plus 135 for Simón. Shore is minus 165. Tank Shore, good. I mean, decent line for him. I'm trying to look here. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 200. Let's see. For you, Shore by decision. That's your side. Plus 175. Simón decision, plus 240. I like over 2.5 here at minus 225 over at my bookie. I think that's a solid little play. I think it's definitely going the over, and you don't have to pick the winner. And I think probably the guys are going distance.
That's a good play. I do like that. I do see, even if you're picking Simón, he probably does it by scoring a couple takedowns and making the thing competitive. I think it's going decision.
Let's go. Me and Finch, man, opposite sides, but we always find a nice middle ground on that over 2.5. Let's jump to the featured prelim of the night. Punahele Soriano versus Lungiambula. They're going to bang. Mike, they're going to throw down, and somebody's going out, and that is going to be Lungiambula. I do believe he's a bit more raw and wild. Yes, he's explosive and powerful, but Soriano is the technically better striker. He knocked out Dushko Tudorovic. I think that's still a decent win in the cap, because it's not like Dushko's a chinny guy by any means. I think Soriano's hands are going to be on display here. He has a clear-cut boxing technical advantage, and he's going to knock Lungiambula out. And also, Lungiambula does have a judo background, doesn't have great offensive wrestling. Soriano's got a good wrestling base. He's not an easy guy to out-wrestle. I mean, you look at the fight with Maximov, who just wants to grapple. Soriano was very competitive there. I'm going Soriano by KO in a matchup that favors him well, I think.
I'm going to take a page out of AJ's book and predict a club and sub, ladies and gentlemen. I think Soriano puts the cross on him, puts the hook on him, gets him on the ground, jumps on his back, and hits a rear naked choke, man. Soriano's got a couple rear naked choke victories, and we see his opponent with a couple of rear naked choke losses. I do think that it's a gamble when you're approaching Dalcha, because Dalcha could spark anybody. And one thing I would like to see Soriano do is actually be a little bit patient here, man. I want to see, how smart he can be about choosing when to engage, when to go, because if you start just hunting Dalcha's chin, he could put you out. Right. It's no joke approaching him. So if Soriano fights a smart fight here, he should dominate the thing, man. I agree in a finish, but maybe I'm crazy. I'm gonna go sub, man.
Sub. Finchman says sub. Punahele Soriano's -235 is the favorite. Lungiambula +195 is the dog. Looking at Soriano to win by submission, because that's the Finchman's pick. We got to throw it out. +800 is the best value. It's around +600. Soriano by KO TKO +225, not nearly as juicy. Under 2.5 rounds, -140. I do think we're probably going inside of the distance here. I'm riding with Punahele Soriano, as is Mike. He likes club and sub. I like KO. But for the value, I like club and sub too, Finchman.
Dude, +800 is super wide. Why wouldn't he test out a little bit of ground game in this fight?
Right.
It would only make sense. That's super smart on his part. Obviously we know what his strength is. It's in his hands, but in this specific matchup, it's definitely time to show us his well-rounded skills. With odds that wide, I mean, throwing a couple bucks at it, it'll pay for your ESPN Plus membership. I like it.
Let's go. Finchman, club and sub. I'm riding with the KO, but we're both on Team Soriano as we jump towards the main card. The Moneyline main card breakdown time. I am AJ. That is Mike Finch. Smash those likes for everybody tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. Show some love to the Moneyline. We're live every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And also, I'll give the pitch on this one. If you're interested, dropping some bets, you want to help the boys out, jump over to my bookie, promo code Moneyline. They'll give you the 50% play bonus on top of your deposit. We also got the promo code in the description. If you just want to copy and paste it, link it right up. Helps us out to produce better content with the the love coming back financially at us. So much love to everybody, and we're excited as hell, baby. Let's go. First fight on the card. First fight in the main card. I'm gonna let the Finch man break it down. We talked about it a little bit with Danielle Kelly. Now I want Finch's.
Look, Tate's coming down in weight. That's the biggest X factor here for me. How's she going to feel? How's she going to perform? I think she's a very, very, solid professional at this point. She should probably do this pretty smart. Miesha Tate is smart, so I'm going to assume that she's going to perform, like her normal self. And if that's true, she's a level above Lauren Murphy. I mean, I don't think Murphy's a tough customer. Like, I don't mean to underestimate Murphy, but I've never seen Murphy's game be at the level of Miesha Tate's. Even Miesha Tate's goofy striking, where she hides out here and kind of lunges forward with the shots, I think that shit's gonna work against Murphy, man. And in a 3-round fight, Miesha could really let it go. She had a really competitive fight against Ketlen Vieira, and I would never pick Murphy over Ketlen Vieira. I think Miesha Tate, even just in recent, like we want to talk about Miesha Tate 2.0, meaning this is, since the layoff, what does she look like? If she performs like she did against Ketlen, that's good enough. Miesha Tate wins this fight. Is it by submission or is it by decision is the question. That's the tough part for me, AJ. Why don't you tell me, sub, or are we going all three?
All three. It's going to be Tate by a decision. I do think she lands some takedowns, has okay moments striking, and takes it on the cards. I don't think it's going to be an uber impressive beatdown, but I think it's a Miesha Tate win. It's a Tate fight. I like Miesha decision. We're on the same side with Miesha Tate. It's hard to pick against her.
Yeah.
I mean, she is the favorite, -215. And then Murphy is +175. Over 2.5, I like, but the line is wide. It's -350. Tate to win by decision, which, I mean, it's not even a good play, +100. It's not a great betting spot, but I think Miesha Tate wins the fight.
Miesha Tate could sub her, bro. Do you have a line for that?
The sub line for Miesha Tate right now, let me pull that bad boy up.
Because I could see it happening late, especially, man. You know, Miesha gets on top in this fight. You guys saw how Valentina Shevchenko owned Murphy on the ground. I do think Tate's at that level on the ground.
Plus 500.
That's wide for me, guys. If you guys think Miesha Tate's as good of a submission artist as I do, I think it's like maybe 60-40 shot, 60% chance we go to decision, 40% chance I think Miesha could sub this girl. That sounds wide to me. You know, these are more Hail Mary picks. Be careful. That I wouldn't mind throwing $5 at that.
I like it, Finch, man. I like it, bro. No, I'm not opposed either. I like that we're on the same side with this Tate fight. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to really say it. I think Tate's got the better wrestling, kind of does the whole MMA game better. Murphy's got decent boxing, tight, a bit, not super stiff, but a bit. Tate should get the win. And if she doesn't,
she's still real, guys.
Right. She's still there. I mean, she went distance with Ketlin, and I feel like Tate at 25. I mean, this is a title fight. If she wins, she gets a title shot, I think.
A lot of you guys scored that for Miesha Tate. You know, that was a great fight, man. I think it was just a showcase of a great young star in Ketlin Vieira, who then, you know, went on to beat Holly Holm. I don't think it was showing us that Miesha Tate's lost a step. That's not what I saw. I do think Miesha Tate's still that level, and it should be apparent, you know, with this fight. So I don't think those odds are wide enough, to be honest. I don't think the bookies gave enough credit to Tate, man. So, you know, I know you guys don't like betting on women's MMA. There are a ton of people in here who say, you never know who's going to win women's MMA. This would be one of those fights I'm more comfortable.
Yeah, I feel that same way. I mean, a lot of experience with Tate. I see her getting it done. Miesha Tate for the win for the Finch man and I both. Starting it off on the main card with this agreement. Let's jump to the next one. Shane Burgos and Charles Jourdain.
Let's go. Hurricane Shane. Let's go.
Finch has got the Hurricane Shane shirt on. So I think we know the way it's going to go with the pick. I'm maybe a crazy man for going on the other side. I'm picking Charles Jourdain, brother. I think he's going to find a way, man.
What's he going to do to my guy Shane?
He's going to attack him with kicks. He's going to explode in and out of range. Burgos is going to land good shots too. They're going to sit in. They're going to mix it up. I think Jourdain takes it on the cards, man. And it's going to be a competitive war and a really good fight. And I feel like fight of the night.
When you guys see Shane Burgos on the card, you could already just call it fight of the night. You know, that's what this dude does, man. Right. You know, Shane gets in these crazy fights. Michael Chandler walks up to him, tells him, "You're my favorite fighter." You know, that really touched Shane. Shane's like, holy shit, you know, this is crazy. I used to talk to Shane on MMA forums when we were like 12 years old, you know, and it's crazy to see him now in the UFC. It's totally bizarre. So, you know, I got to ride with my guy, Shane Burgos, of course. So, warning, I am biased. Okay, here's my biased opinion. I think Shane's got better hands. I think Charles Jourdain is really solid. I love him push kicking Andre Ewell on his ass. Like, you know, he's tough, man, screaming at him and shit while he's striking like Holly Holm. You know, I'm entertained. And what people don't give enough credit to Charles Jourdain for is he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. Everybody's like, yeah, he got Darce choked he was embarrassed by that. Listen to Charles Jourdain talk about that fight. He's like, that was not me. I'm embarrassed by that loss. That's how a champion speaks. You know, he really believes he's at another level than that. So Shane Burgos, for those of you who don't know, when he was an amateur, he used to jump guard. Yeah, Shane Burgos used to be a straight up jiu-jitsu guy and jump guard. So people don't know, but my dude Shane's been competing and grappling since he was a child. The first time I met him, we were teenagers and he was grappling. He drove or flew, I don't know, all the way to Columbus, Ohio to grapple in the same tournament as me. I'm bigger than him. We didn't grapple each other, but that's how long he's been doing this, man. He's been grappling for 15 years, right? So Shane Burgos is no slouch on the ground either. That makes me comfortable with that matchup because both of them underrated grapplers. We go up to the feet. I think Shane's got those diamond hands, bro. I think his combinations are better. He throws more punches and bunches. He's a decision, you know, the judges are going to like the output from Shane Burgos here. I'm riding with my guy. I do think Shane can finish him. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a damn fight of the night like you do. I'll go all three.
Let's go. All three. War. Shane Burgos minus 170 is the favorite. Jourdain plus 140 is the dog. Over 2.5 sits at minus 115. I don't think there's going to be a KO. Just looking at the KO lines, Burgos by KO plus 235. Jourdain plus 500. Let's see. Burgos by decision plus 240. I don't like it. I don't really like the prop side. I think if you're attacking either side, you go on money line or you're going to sweat the hell out of that over 2.5. And I think it's going to be a great matchup. Very competitive pick for me, even though I'm slightly leaning it towards Jourdain. We're going to find out, Mike. I mean, for you, that's your boy. You know, I'd like to see him get the hand raised, even though the pick is the Jourdain side. I don't want to see your boy take a loss here.
My boy gets it done on Saturday, and then I'm going to have him on Mike Finn's show. All right. The next week,
let's go.
I meant to get him on earlier, but he's been running around with his kids and stuff. He's a busy man. He's training his ass off for this fight. I respect that. So after the dub, we'll get him on Mike Finn's show. I'm going to have him on for a while. We've actually tried to get him on Moneyline, but he doesn't stay up too late. He's on East Coast. I want to shout out Wendy Willis here. Shane is 6-0 in New York. He runs New York. What's that 50 Cent song? That's my boy, Shane Burgos, a gangster.
He is a gangster in New York. Let's see if the Canadian can take him out. We're going to find out. I'm going Jourdain, Finchman, going Burgos. Let's jump to the next one, which is a great flyweight fight. It's Matt Schnell versus Sumudaerji. High level action, I think. Both guys really good. Not top of the weight class, but Sumudaerji has a shot with this one to really emerge himself as a contender. Schnell's not an easy out for anybody, though. He's been stopped a couple of times, getting reckless. He's kind of known for that. I think he's going to be a bit more patient and fight smarter here. I'm kind of feeling like Sumudaerji's going to do well from distance with the kickboxing and take him on the cards. Schnell's going to try to wrestle, but I don't know, man. I don't think that even if he lands moments of even getting to the hips, like I could see Sumudaerji getting up quickly. I don't see him just outclassing Sue on the ground. So I'm really confident that Sumudaerji probably takes it on the cards, outpointing him with the striking. You have a different take, Mike?
I think that left straight of Sumudaerji finds a home. It's going to sneak through. His spinning back kick is excellent when you circle away from the straight cross, right? So that makes you circle directly into it, man. I love that matchup, right? Where you have a weapon where somebody moves this way, which makes them move into your power shot. That's what he's got. I think that's going to work in this fight against Schnell. I respect Schnell. I think that Schnell's timing and his overall technique his fundamentals are good. I love to see good fundamentals, knees bent, hands up, chin tucked. He's doing the right thing. It's just he's fighting a guy who's more talented than him. I do see Sumudaerji landing and putting him out, man. You know, you don't want to see somebody who's is going to try to take Sumudaerji down. I don't think Schnell is that guy. You know, I think you want to see I said that wrong. You want to see a great wrestler. You don't want to see Schnell going in there and trying to wrestle him because I don't think he gets him down, man. I think he's getting touched up. I'm going Sumudaerji by knockout. And then this is too funny. I got to shout it out. John Jones' cellmate left a little comment here. Look, I just said Shane Burgos runs New York City. My apologies. It turns out John Jones' cellmate runs New York City. My fault.
Don't mess with the cellmate of John Jones, brother. Don't mess with it. You're going KO, though. Let's bring the lines up. Minus 275, Sumudaerji. Matt Schnell plus 215. The KO prop for Sumudaerji is just plus 100, so it's not great. I feel like over 1.5, minus 155. I like going longer, but it is plus 110. This over 2.5. Sumudaerji maybe parlay piece type situation because he is a little bit of a wide favorite or a heavy money line attack. I like him for the win confidently over Matt Schnell. Let's get it, Finch, man. We're on a roll, man. We got a lot of agreement on this card, dude.
We rolling. Yeah. Two disagreements. That's fair. Hey, when you and I double up on a dog, our percentage is super high, super high. So, you know, just to let you guys know, me and AJ been on a couple dogs together on this card.
Let's go. I like it, man. Let's jump to the next one. It is our featured bout of the night. Jingliang, a.k.a. Leech versus Muslim Salikhov. Finch, do you think Salikhov, the king of Kung Fu, can take out the Leech, man? What do you think? Give me the breakdown from you. I'm curious your side on this one.
The king of Kung Fu. My man don't know shit about Kung Fu, all right? He's in there striking like everybody else, man. I don't see no Kung Fu. I feel like people just think about Hamzat now when they think about Leech, you know? The dude is dangerous, you know? There's a reason why Hamzat did not play with this boy for a second on the feet. He said, fuck that. I'm changing levels. I'm getting a hold of him. And for those of you who didn't see it, rewatch that takedown. Everybody's like, took him down so easy. Fuck no. He shot a double leg and got stuffed like a turkey. What did Khabib, Jesus, Hamzat do? Hamzat came up with that body lock, shucked him by, and did essentially a second takedown, right? He was in on the shot, got stuffed, and then came up for the next takedown. That shows you high-level wrestling that I have not really seen from many other people, specifically a Muslim. So I do think Muslim could get it done. I mean, he could win a decision here, but I like Leach, bro. I think Leach is going to let his hands go here. He got in there and slipped his head and threw big shots with Ponzi, who I know you love. He knocked Ponzi out, bro. Walked down and KO Douglas Lima. His ground and pound is nasty, AJ. When Leach is on top of you, he's throwing bombs. He's coming down heavy, right elbows, straight right hands. He tries to put people out. Salikhov spends way too much time on the feet for me. He knocked out Taleb and Ricky Rainey, but this ain't Ricky Rainey, bro. This is Leach, man. I got Leach knockout.
I'm going Leach knockout too, Finch, man. I think his hands do the difference, man. I think Salikhov has good kicks, but if he's inside boxing range, Jingliang's powerful. He's explosive. He hits really hard, man. And I think he's going to knock Salikhov unconscious. I'm going with Li Jingliang. Plus 140 for the Leach. And then Salikhov minus 170. I like that plus money on the dog. If you're looking,
underdog again.
we got underdog city. Leach by KOs plus 350. But I think Leach is a great money line attack. And I'm going to bank on him by KO as the official pick, as the Finch man is. I like that we're on the same side, bro. We're seeing these dogs, man.
Boy's got power. Look, I just don't see why people think that Muslim can outbox him, outstrike him. I don't see that. What I see is Leach with the bigger threat, bigger weapons. You start exchanging with Leach. He doesn't throw one punch. He'll come in there, keep slipping his head, looking for that next shot. I think he finds it.
Yeah, I agree. We're going Leach for the win. For me and the Finch man. Let's jump to the co-main event. Michelle Waterson, the Karate Hottie, and Amanda Lemos. Mike, I like Lemos a lot here. I know you picked her against Andrade, and thankfully Andrade got the win because I was on the other side, but I was scared because Lemos was outstriking Jessica Andrade. What's she going to do to Michelle Waterson? I think she's going to beat her up for 3 rounds, take a dominant, unanimous decision. It's at 125, so I guess the title implications aren't really there at 115, but I don't think Lemos is that many wins away from a title shot. I mean, Andrade beats her. She's top of the line. She's fighting Manon Farrow at 125, which is kind of like a dead zone for her because I doubt she gets a rematch with Valentina if she wins. So I guess with the win over Farrow, she's just going to be fighting for that 115 belt. I don't know. Either way, Lemos is in the mix at 115, regardless of where this weight class, this fight takes place at whatever weight class. And I think she's going to pick apart Michelle Waterson here on the feet, man. So much more danger with Lemos standing up. Waterson's good technique, though. She's light-footed. She's quick, but Lemos hurts you. She does damage to you.
Good point. Good points. Look, I think that the odds are kind of wide here, AJ. If we're talking about who I think is going to win, yes, I think Lemos. I think I like her hands a lot better. I think she's closer to her prime. But if we're talking like who's got more techniques in their toolkit, who's more of a veteran, I think Michelle Waterson checks off a lot of boxes for her to be 4-1 a dog. Super wide for me, man. Wide. Give some respect to my girl Michelle Waterson. All right. I hate picking against Jackson Wink fighters. They're intelligent. They're well coached. Jackson Wink has been super awesome to me. I got to sit down with Greg and I got to sit down with Wink, and they're all good people, even Brandon Gibson. So much respect for their gym. So much respect for Michelle Waterson. With that being said, she's not in her prime, For those of you who don't know, I got to say this as respectfully as possible. Michelle Waterson has been battling with her weight. Her weight has been fluctuating a lot. It's not something you want to see with a fighter you're going to bet on, right? So as much as I want to touch that 4-1 dog line, that's crazy. That's too wide for me, AJ. I'm gonna lean Lemos here. For those of you betting, do you want Lemos with those wide odds? I don't.
She's minus 320. Yeah, it's a big favorite. Waterson plus 260. I just don't see her winning. Probably goes over at minus 225, but this just might not be a fight that you bet on. Might be when you sit back, you enjoy, and you see if Lemos is as good as the lines have her sitting at, and the hype, I mean, is definitely on her. We got agreement, though, Mike. A ton of it. The main event. Let's see what happens. Let's jump to it. It is Brian T. City Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you're watching and subscribe to the channel. Keep it locked in at the money line. As I'm almost tripping over my words, I'm thinking of so many things. And also, My bookie promo code Moneyline, get you 50% bonus when you sign up and you show some love to the boys. Mike, I will give you the floor for the Finch breakdown for this one. Let's hear it.
Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez have made it to the top, and they fell off the top. And we have to look at those fights and really try to dig into why these guys aren't champions, what's going on. And what I see from Yair is a guy who's crazy dangerous, man. That zombie knockout where he slipped under the weaved under the jab and threw the back elbow up. Is that the greatest KO in MMA history? It's one of them. That shit was insane. Right in the last minute of a title fight. Last seconds, AJ?
Last second. I mean, it was like 2 seconds left or a second left.
Bro, that is one of the craziest KOs in combat sports history. It's hard to pick against a guy who's that dangerous. Like, be aware that Yair Rodriguez could end this thing at any time, man. I think I like that Ortega's training with TJ Dillashaw and Corey Sandhagen and Juan Archuleta. I do think that those guys are going to give him good looks. It's not quite Yair. Nobody can quite be Yair. Yair is just a little more dynamic and unpredictable than that, but close, right? Like those are good ones. TJ Dillashaw is going to give you some good looks, you know? So with Ortega, in with the right guys, in with Tiki Gosen at HBUTC, I do think they're going to be prepared for this. And who's got the biggest advantage of this fight? You got to think it's on the ground with Ortega. And AJ, I listened to T-City talking in the press conference. He's talking about getting back to his roots. He was saying, I fucked up by not training jiu-jitsu enough when I fought Volkanovski. I need to go back to my roots. If he goes back to his roots, if he does what he just said at that press conference, all day T-City. T-City should be able to get on top in this fight, and once he does, he should strangle Yair Rodriguez. I like the guillotine because Yair Rodriguez throws, and he likes to weave super crazy. You've seen Dominic Cruz get caught with a knee from Henry Cejudo doing that shit. You've seen Yair knock out Zombie doing that, so he's dangerous down there. But I think when he puts his head down there, Guillotine City, not Triangle City, Guillotine City. I got Ortega by guillotine.
Ortega by guillotine. I like it, Finch, man. I'm going Ortega by submission as well. He's got a big edge on the ground. I think he's very competitive with the upper body striking, with the hands, even with the movement. The legs of Rodriguez are just hard to replicate. That's top line shit. I'm going to go Ortega by submission, man. I like it 2 rounds. I mean, I'm leaning it 3rd round, but I think any point they hit the mat, it could be danger for Yair. He has been beaten up on the ground way back. It was against Frankie Edgar. Look at Max Holloway. He had moments against Rodriguez. Ortega on the mat, extremely dangerous. And notice durability is off the charts as well. I mean, he took a beating from Max Holloway, everything that he could throw, and he didn't go down. I mean, granted, yeah, Max Holloway not a big knockout puncher, but he's stunning you with shots. Ortega's made out of steel. And I mean, with Volkanovski, he gave him the toughest fight, period. Brian Ortega's still in the mix for a title fight. If there's a rematch with Volkanovski, I'd be down to watch it. I'd want to see Ortega Volkanovski 2 down the line, especially if Ortega wins this one impressively, maybe takes one more. He's in the mix for it. Granted, probably Volkanovski doing some super fight against Oliveira or something. That's what he wants to do. Ortega's in the mix, though. Or Cejudo, that's another one. He beats up Henry. I'm riding Ortega for the win, and we're banking on submission. Me and the Finch man, both on the same side. I want to give the lines out to the people. Ortega is a -180 favorite. Yair, the +150 dog. We both like submission. That submission prop for Ortega is sitting at +250. If you're looking to play it, we're on it. Finch, man, I like it, bro.
People blowing up the chat right now, but a good strong take by my man Dylan. You'll have to scroll up a little bit for it. He said that T-City, that's Brian Ortega, is a punching bag. Yair destroys him. Damn, bro. That's a hot take, my friend. Is that Stephen A. Smith over there? Who the hell is commenting? Okay. He's hot and cold. That's the problem, right, AJ? It's not that he's a punching bag. It's that sometimes he shows up to strike and he's flat. He's flat, like flat soda that you left out, right? It's just there's no bounce, there's no dynamics. It's just you can find him in that cage. Yeah. Then other times we get the Frankie Edgar performance. We get we get T-City, who's got more weapons. His Muay Thai looks strong. That's what they're good at, by the way. Tiki Gosen, phenomenal Muay Thai coach. The couple times, I can count on my hand that I've trained at HBUTC, big on Muay Thai, great kickers, great knees, elbows. you know, that's important in this fight because he has to be prepared for all of the weapons. In Muay Thai, they call it the art of 8 limbs: punches, elbows, knees, and kicks. T-City has to be ready for all that shit because he will get hit in this fight. Yair is very dangerous and dynamic. Do I think that the difference in striking is as big as the difference on the ground? No. And that's why I like him by sub.
Let's go. Finch, man. We're on the same side. I like it, brother. Main event breakdown. We did the full card, but we got more for the people. We're going to jump to the money line lock of the night segment. Lock time. Mike, give me your lock this week.
I'm going with an underdog for the lock on this one. We picked a couple different dogs on this card, but I'm going with the Leech. The Leech is more powerful. The Leech is more dangerous. I do think Leech is going to let his hands go in this fight. Should he win a decision? Yes, I think he gets 2 out of 3 rounds, but even better, I think he could crack that chin and get this thing over with. Just money line Leech, guys. The odds are nice and sweet for you. I do think Leech, I think his opponent Muslim is going to spend too much time on the feet, and that'll be his downturn there. I'm going to go Leech, and I'm going to do him as my lock of the night, man. I think he comes back strong from that Hamzat loss.
The Finch, man, with the dog lock. I can't follow with that much fire because that's a fire take, bro. I am going to lock up Punahele Soriano for the win. I know it's not a great line. It's minus 235, but it's a confident pick. And I have to load it in the slate, what I'm feeling really good about. I like Soriano. There's some other picks I'm confident about too. Me and Mike agreeing on a lot of them. I think we got some great takes coming this week. And I like the lock from me, but I love the lock from the Finch, man, because I'm big on him as a dog. I like Leech. So Finch, good shit on that pick, brother. I like it.
Hey, man, I think people are doubting our boy Leech. You know, they all saw him get picked up like a prom date and thrown on the ground in front of Dana White. That's not what this matchup is, guys. You know, that's not what this matchup is. You got to look at the full arsenal. You know, don't make the mistake I made with Alex Pereira and judge somebody on their last fight. Look at the body of work. Look at who Leech has competed against. I think Leech is going to shine on Saturday, man. I'm excited to see it.
Let's go, brother. I like it. The locks, but now it's time for the $100 part.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
The $100 parlay segment. Guys, if you're looking to maybe play one, you jump over to MyBookie, you use code Moneyline. It helps us out, and you get that 50% bonus on your first deposit. Let's talk about it, Mike. Parlay. Let's create something with, I think, really good value. I'm going to pull best fight odds up so I can give you an accurate / semi-estimation number for what we're looking at. Finch, I guess give me yours first. I have a couple written down for myself here as well.
I like how you're on Soriano. I do think that one's sweet, but I'm going to keep him right at the edge of my 3-fight parlay here. I'm going to say Sumudaerji gets the knockout. Just money line all of these. Sumudaerji. I like Shane Burgos in this fight. I do think he gets the decision. And then why would Miesha Tate lose to Lauren Murphy? The only reason you would think she would lose, I think, is because of a bad weight cut. I can't bet against her because there's a bad weight cut or leave her out. I think it's a mismatch, man. I think Miesha Tate is significantly better. I think she'll show it. Murphy's not as dangerous as Ketlin Vieira or some of the other girls that Miesha's fought, and Miesha's fought all the best fighters in the world. I don't see her slowing down. There's a narrative out there that she's at the end of her career. I think she's at the beginning of another run with this fight. So Tate, Burgos, Sumudaerji parlayed up. Soriano's not too crazy to throw in there, but like AJ's told you guys many times, you know, we had the MyBookie guy on here telling us to not go crazy with the parlays. 3 fights enough. I'll cap it there.
Yeah, I like the 3, Mike, and it's at plus 230 if you are looking to play it. I like the Finchman's parlay this week. If you added in the Leech, you're getting plus 690 if you really want to take it far with the Finchman pick. So that's a money play also to add a little more juice. Now, for me, I'm big on Sumudaerji too, Finch. I'm going to remove Burgos because I am leaning the other side. I like the Soriano take. Tate, Soriano, and Mudaerji plus 195. Let's say, though, some people are not going to be loving that Tate line. I think if you add T-City at the top, you're getting plus 220, Sumudaerji, Punahele Soriano, Brian Ortega. I think that's a good 3-fighter play. Of course, though, I need value on my line. I got to add in Daun Jung, which brings me up to plus 485. If you're looking for some to hit hard, I think that could be one of them. I like that plus 485 line. Those are the $100 parlays. We keep it a little bit safer with the money line plays. If you want my crazy ass parlays, you watch this week's Best MMA Bets. We got up to, I believe, plus 8,000 or something like that on some wild play. Not necessarily, the best way to do it, but if you're just throwing a couple dollars down and you hit the lottery, shit, you might be making big back.
My buddy did that once. Yeah, shout out to my buddy Stone Dax, who had like a stupid 10-fight parlay. I always tell him, don't do that shit. Sure enough, he sends me a screenshot. He hit it one time. I mean, he's lost money a few times, but it can happen, ladies and gentlemen. Just bet responsibly. Remember that this is not financial advice, but if you want a big stack like Conor McGregor's got right there, with risk comes the opportunity for a reward.
Let's go. I like that, Finch, man. You said it right. Brother, it was another great show, the 30th episode. We had a great guest in Danielle Kelly, who was really fun to talk to and get to know and get her takes. It was great breaking it down with you. I like that we got a lot of agreement, couple disagreements. For the people watching, smash the hell out of the like button. If you're new, subscribe here at MMA Experts. Keep it locked in. Turn those post notifications on so you don't miss any videos. Turn it on to all. Don't just do it personalized. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, the money line. Each and every week, come tune in live Thursdays before the fights. We'll give you the takes. On and on and on and on and on again. Road to 100 episodes with 30 in. So I'm pretty hyped for it. Finch, man, give yourself the shout out. Tell the people where they can find you.
Mike Finch MMA, Instagram, and YouTube. Guys, I'll be breaking down the big fights for Bellator this weekend. You've got Jason Jackson, Douglas Lima. You've got Sydney Outlaw. You've got Usman Nurmagomedov, Chris Gonzalez. There's a ton of fun fights that are going down in Seattle, Washington. I'll be there, and I'll be breaking down the fights all week. If you guys want to check those videos out, you can check out my YouTube channel. You could also check out my Instagram. And I got this TikTok thing going, AJ. I got to learn from you a little more, but we got to entertain these kids.
We got to get on the TikTok. We got to brainstorm together, Mike. We're going to make some things happen.
Reluctant, I was reluctant to come to the TikTok show. Not a big fan of like the whole, spyware. It's owned by the Communist Party of China thing. However, it's where the kids are. We got to make content for people.
We do.
And I think it's fun. So yes, I'm building that as well. And like I said, should Shane Burgos come out looking nice and pretty, I'm going to get him on the show as well. So just keeping it entertaining for you guys. Lots of fun content coming up. And you guys know you can find me here every single Thursday. We'll be breaking down the fights. Lots of fun interviews, guys. We're working on some good ones.
Let's go. Mike, thank you for being here. Everybody watching, thank you. Shout out to the people watching live. Shout out to the replay gang. Much love to each and every one of you. Road to 10K subscribers. We're getting closer by the day.
Oh, AJ.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Peace, everybody, and have a fantastic night.